is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. It's a long walk all the way around here. Hopefully you're having yourself a great day. Thank you so much for being here on the channel. We're about to hit 10,000 subscribers, which is amazing, and I'm extremely humbled and thankful for you and all who watch the content. Today, though, we are going to be chatting about Lord of the Rings. I've done a lot of box openings. I've been busy at the shop all weekend. I haven't gotten to give you all my thoughts, and so this is going to be kind of a vomit of my thoughts about the set, a rundown of the ideas and the things that I have seen both on a local level, online, and be watching the market and that kind of stuff. So I want to first come out and say, I know everybody likes negative content and that's going to get clicks and views, but honestly, I think that this is the most successful Magic the Gathering set in modern Magic history. I don't know where I would put it in Magic history. Frankly, I wasn't around, before 2008, 2009. So I don't know those sets, but in terms of modern Magic history, I think this has been the most successful set. This is why I think that. I'm going to kind of go through a list of 4 things, and then I'm going to come back and hit on each of those. And then I'm going to give you my big wins, my cautions, and things to look out for that I think are a little bit of a trap about this set. So first off, why is this the most successful set in Magic history? Well, first of all, the players are super engaged. This is not just I thought Lord of the Rings might be a little bit of a cash grab. It might be a little bit of it was almost like I was afraid of Baldur's Gate happening, where the players just weren't going to find value in the set. But the set for players is just really good. People are excited to play with the cards, and we'll get into it when we talk about the commander decks a little bit, but also sealed is super fun. There's just a lot of wins for the players. The collectors are engaged. Sorry, I'm going to give you the rundown first. Collectors are engaged. Stores have been profitable with this, and non-Magic fans are coming in. So we just talked about players being engaged, but collectors are also engaged. We are seeing people selling off vintage Magic collection type things in order to go for serialized cards, in order to open collector boxes, in order to kind of experience the collectability of the set. I think they really honed in the number of serialized cards and the non-serialized cards. I think in practice and what we are seeing now in effect, it's working. Like the collector box with the different, variety of different pulls is working. The surge foils we'll talk about a little bit later, but people are collecting Magic, which hasn't happened since, I don't know, Double Masters didn't work. Look at the textured foils from Double Masters. It's like nobody wants them, but I can't think of anything that people want. They want this. The serialized cards were pretty good, but this is a new level, and I think collectors are really engaged. So players are engaged, collectors are engaged, stores. This has been probably the most profitable weekend of my store career. We have, I've only been a store for a year and a half, 2 years or whatever, but this has been the most successful week, and I have been lowering prices. Collector boxes in my store, if you come in store, they're $3.95. The set box, I have not even gone to the secondary market for prices. And I mean, collector boxes are $450, $460, I think, on TCG Play right now. And it's been successful for me in store. The profit margin on the set scared me because the boxes were really expensive from distro. But the market has, I guess, accepted this idea of a $400 collector box. Now, do I wish that Wizards made this product the same price as regular collector boxes for stores and that the market didn't have to accept a $400 collector box? Of course I do. I wish it would have cost me less, and then I could have sold more boxes to more people locally. But I can't deny that people are spending money and accepting the price point. And, frankly, the market decides things, whatever they want. Wizards can put out a price. This happened. We rejected Baldur's Gate. The market rejected the product of Baldur's Gate. It's still well below my cost. I'm talking 30, 40% below my cost. But the market is accepting Lord of the Rings in a acceptable profit margin for stores, where it is actually, for the first time, exciting for me to call my reps and try to get more Magic product. I talked to my reps today. They were absolutely they had tons of calls today. They were backed up like crazy. Usually I can get a hold of my reps by 9:30 or 10. It took all afternoon or all morning in order to get a hold of them because they had so many calls looking for more product, and that doesn't happen. You need to understand, most of the time when Magic product releases, stores have too much and they're not begging reps and distribution for more product. This is a new thing for the last year and a half. And so stores, this has been profitable for them, and that's a good thing. You want your store to be able to responsibly make money off of you. Now, I'm not saying that stores should be selling these boxes for $4.75. If I thought stores should be selling these boxes in store for $4.75, I would do that. But I think an acceptable profit around the $3.95, $4.10 range is a really good acceptable profit, and the value is there. So stores are profiting, and that's really good because then their lights stay on. And then this last one, non-Magic fans coming in. We have a ton of Pokemon customers in our store. We have a ton of people who engage and buy, sell, and trade Pokemon cards and boxes and rip things open. We do bounties and all that stuff. And I had people this weekend, Pokemon fans, come in and say, "Hey, do you have any of that Lord of the Rings set?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I do." And they bought it, and they're not going for, maybe they bought one collector pack, maybe they bought the bundle. We'll talk about the bundles in a minute too, but people who don't engage in Magic the Gathering came in because of the Lord of the Rings set. And I said at the very beginning that one of my metrics for evaluating this set and evaluating Universes Beyond, if Universes Beyond does not bring in non-Magic the Gathering players, then it's pointless and it's worthless and it's a stupid direction. But if Universes Beyond is actually going to bring people in to the Magic the Gathering ecosystem to actually play and engage, and if that stays, and if 20% of the people who come in from non-Magic and actually end up sticking around and playing Magic, that is a huge win of Universes Beyond. And I am not a fan of Universes Beyond, but if it works, then I'm accepting it, and I think it's a good thing. So those are the 4 things that I think kind of justify this as like the most successful Magic the Gathering modern set since whenever. All right, here are my big wins for the set. These are the things I think are major successes. Number 1 are the bundles. We have 3 bundles left. These things were amazing. The 4 cards on the back that make the thing. All the people I was talking about with Magic or Pokemon, they all came in and they loved this idea that they could get the one ring and they could get the art set and the dice, and they also get packs. I think the bundles in this, I would love to see them take this. I wish they were still called fat packs, but I wish they would take this model for the bundles and put that much value in every bundle. I think that's a huge win for the community. It's a really cheap price point at $50 or whatever, where people can get them and engage in the product and then decide if they want more later. And I think that's a really big win. Sealed format, like I said, was super fun. All the players I talked to, I didn't get to play because I was busy running around, but all the people I talked to really enjoyed the format. We have our league starting on Friday, and people are really excited for the league and to continue to engage in a sealed format throughout the month or throughout the year until Wilds of Eldraine. So people are excited to play the set in the sealed format. But the commander decks are the big win. Those are, man, they're powerful. I'm not going to say that they're Warhammer level because I don't know that for sure yet. But they are powerful and they are fun. We played, somebody played the Host of Mordor deck in a pod, and I was playing, I think I was playing my monkey deck that you guys built. And I was overwhelmed by how fast and how efficient the deck was. But that's the one that everyone's buying. The food deck, what's it called? The Food and Fellowship deck, which is the one that has the hobbits in it. The way that the deck interacts with itself is just perfect. I don't know that you could be more efficient with the deck. I'm not saying it's like the strongest power level, but every turn seemed to be really fun for the player, and every turn seemed to be really powerful and move the game forward. And I think the decks being that good are a really good thing for the set. It's going to help people engage with the set for a long period of time, because you're not going to be able to sit at a commander table in a store for the next 3 months without seeing one of these decks. I mean, everyone's buying them. Everyone wants to play them. They're strong. They're powerful. It's a good thing. So that's a big win. And then the last thing I think was a huge win was putting the box toppers in each pack. And the box toppers are really, the Realms and Relics are super good. And then, the Surge foil ones later on. But just the box topper packs, people were really excited to buy a box to get that box topper pack. Now, you have some that are no value, but you have some cards that are still holding like a $60, $70 value in those box topper packs. And people are excited to open up that box topper. So I think those were the 4 big wins. The things I'm cautious about for you, for consumers, even as a store, I'm very cautious about collector boxes at $450. I know the One Ring hasn't been pulled, but you are seeing the serialized cards. We'll talk about that in a second. But the serialized cards come down in value, like as more get pulled, the number of people who are willing to buy at the really high prices lowers. And so 400, but the box prices haven't lowered in tangent with that. Actually, all weekend box prices have just been going up. There's only last night I screenshotted it and sent it to some friends. There was only 9 listings for collector boxes. 9 listings, which means 9 stores couldn't sell their collector boxes in store without paying fees and shipping and all that stuff because the demand locally was so much. And so until the second wave of collector boxes comes, I would be cautious about spending that amount of money. Now, there is a scenario here where the One Ring's not pulled and the serialized cards hold value in the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, for some of them. And we'll talk about the Surge foils start picking up. There is a scenario here where the second wave is smaller than people anticipated. Listen, my reps were overwhelmed pre-release. They were trying to find boxes everywhere to fill orders. And there is a scenario where wave 2 isn't as big as people think it's going to be of the collector boxes. And in that scenario, I don't know what happens with boxes. We just haven't seen something like that. If that happens and the One Ring still isn't pulled, I don't know. It's too high risk for me to say go buy $450 collector boxes. I would not actively buy $450 sealed collector boxes to keep sealed or to open for singles. Simply put, I think that price point is really, really difficult to make your money back. And then I think once that ring's pulled, sealed product, I think has a tendency to go down at that point. Now, again, there's so many caveats to that. There is a scenario where the prices do go up as a result of the rings not being pulled, the serialized cards holding value, and that kind of thing. So I'm just saying to use caution. For me, the risk is too high, but for you, you might like that. You might like that risk. So another thing I would caution is serialized cards seem to be coming down quite a bit. We were seeing $12,000 sales. Now it's, for those 1 of 300, it's in the 6,000s, I think. The 900, I think I hit that one pretty good in my prediction video. I think they're like 2,500. So they're coming down a little bit. There's not that many of them though. There's only, 1,900 serialized cards in a game that has millions of players. So those are my caution things. I would say definitely use caution on. But things to look out for that I think actually have a lot of potential. The Surge foils. People don't seem to know that the Surge foils are somebody did the math. It seems to be about 1 in 1,000. There are only 1,000 copies of each of the Surge foil box topper, realms and relics. That is not that high of a number. I mean, it's basically the lowest, the highest serialized card number, right? That's not that high of a number. And those cards are iconic. And I think right now people don't know that. Right now people don't know how few of them there are. I think as people find that out, you may see those increase. So if you can get one of those locally or in a trade or something like that, I'm not telling you to go spend $500 on them or $400 on eBay or whatever, but if you can get one of those in a trade or, trade some of your extra cards for one of those, I think that's a good target for this set where everyone's focused on their rings and the serialized cards. Long term, I think those Surge foils could do pretty well. And then lastly, I am seeing a ton of people trading and selling vintage Magic for this set. And I think that there is a negativity in the Magic community right now. I think that's fair. But I think people see the prices of vintage Magic coming down, and they say that it's a result of the negativity of the way Wizards is moving and the direction of Wizards. And I've been guilty of that. But I think the vintage Magic more is coming down because money is coming into Lord of the Rings and Commander Masters and that kind of thing. And as the price point goes up on these products, people who were engaged in both vintage Magic and sealed new Magic are having to find some more money, and so then they are dumping some more vintage. I know there are people also selling out of the game and that kind of thing, but there is another realm of people who are selling vintage Magic to pay for new stuff. And I think that we're going to be kind of hit pretty hard in 6 months, a year and a half, when all this new stuff is less new and people go back to the roots of, you know, where they collect. And I don't know how you top Lord of the Rings and Commander Masters. And so once those things are gone, I think there may be a redirection back to more vintage stuff. So I personally, this is not financial advice, but I personally, while everybody else is looking over there at Lord of the Rings, and I think that's awesome, and for people it's really cool, I've been picking up some vintage stuff that I haven't been able to afford in the past, some dual lands and some other things that are just, they're dropped 30%. They've dropped, I mean, it's like, it looks like a great opportunity to me. So that's where I have been looking out, and I know, maybe you should too. So, all right, that's my thoughts on Lord of the Rings. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts and your criticism of my thoughts. Leave them in the comment section. Thank you to all the subscribers. 10K is a number I never thought I'd get to on this channel, especially after the shift of the channel away from other games and to Magic. It's about half of my subscribers. I mean, we're double where we were when we switched. So thank you so much to everyone who has been here. Really can't wait to celebrate with you guys. We're going to open that Mirrodin booster box, original Mirrodin. I can't decide if we should do a draft with it or if we should just open it with you. But we will be celebrating hopefully this weekend or next weekend. Be kind to the people around you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next video.